Now, Louis C.K. has entered the studio.
Hey, Louie.
Morning, guys.
Hello.
How
you doing, man? Like everybody that twittered yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't
Amazing.
tweet.
You didn't tweet?
No. I always feel phony.
Phony? Really?
Well, the thing, my heart goes out to
Well, yeah, it
family
depends on.
and
Well, if you word it
my
like
prayers.
Colin, then it comes off as, insensitive and hacked.
No,
Put
it's
on
not.
Colin's coat and say it.
No, it's not that it's phony at all. It's just to me, you know.
It's just not your thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I never tweet about anything, and so.
And all of a sudden you can tweet about something like,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I don't do it. Because
Okay.
I don't love anybody that much. I don't care.
Wait till you see Colin's coat.
I made a witty remark.
Oh, boy, he's
But I
defending
happened
it.
to, at the beginning of my witticism, I happened to throw in Patrice's one of a kind. So, you know,
Yeah.
you kind of let it
One of a
slide.
kind.
Right.
So then
They
Bill
broke
Burr
the
just calls on
mold.
his phone and he's from the airport. Mm-hmm. And he goes, yeah, I don't want to leave any tweet like some one of a kind, some hack fucking quote. And I thought at first he saw my quote and was busting my balls, but he was just saying,
He really
it was
meant
really
it.
worse.
Even worse, he really meant it,
Terrible.
not knowing
Right,
what you wrote.
terrible.
How
Yeah,
about the fact that he didn't know what you even wrote?
No.
Yeah,
No idea.
that's
And he
insensitive.
didn't bother to investigate the full thing that I wrote. That's what hurt the most.
True, he just picked out the one hack.
One,
You know, showing your age part.
I told my kids this morning about Patrice, and you know, and I listened to because I told them I'm going here afterwards, and then all his friends are going to be here, and so I turned it on, and there's fucking. Is he here still, Bobby? Did he
No,
leave?
Bobby
Yeah,
left.
Bobby's
Yeah.
just left.
Yeah.
I turn it on, and Bobby's. He's not even saying anything. He's just and the fucking. We're all at the fucking cellar last night, and we're fucking. He's just telling a story. He could be saying anything. He's like, we're at the fucking cellar and fucking, what's his name is there? And fucking, he's not upset. He's not, it's just this shit that comes out of his fucking mouth.
I think he just caught a pop.
And my daughters are 6 and 9, and I'm going, I'm trying to ride the fucking volume. And they can't enjoy people's emotions about their fucking past friend because of this fucking. And so they go like, why does he? They had to ask like, why does this person? Because it sounds crazy.
Yeah, of course.
If you don't listen to it all the time, it's like, what's wrong with this? It's beyond Tourette's. It's like
That's so odd because here, well, when he was here talking into
Yeah,
the mic,
didn't
you
feel-
don't realize it because
He
he's
says
here.
fuck a lot.
But I
Yeah.
guess
Bobby
if you're
likes
listening to it on the radio,
It's
you really,
insane.
especially with children,
Yes.
Right.
you know.
But I explained to them that Patrice and Bobby and I came from Boston, and that there was. I told them what it's like to do comedy there. That there's drunk Irish people. I'm teaching them stereotypes. The Irish Bostonians get wasted, and they sing na 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 na. Hey hey, you got to chant it off stage. And so people had different ways to survive that. And Bobby's was, I explained to the kids the difference between, like, you're trying to tell a story. So I went to the store, and the guy there was really mean to me. Right. Nobody's listening. They're throwing stuff at you. But I went to the fucking store, and the fucking guy was a fucking asshole. Like, it's a way of charging through the shit. Like, that's what turns guys like that.
Oh, shit.
And then Patrice was just this enormous, a mountain that sat on stage. He was just a mountain. Whole other approach to being listened to by those audiences.
Yeah.
Bostonians terrified of giant black men.
Yeah, it's just a huge presence
Yeah.
Did you start out with him?
on the stage.
No, he came up after I'd left Boston, and then he just showed up here as this Boston, young, enormous Boston guy.
Bigger than life. Easiest.
Yeah, he didn't have to move around on stage or anything.
Oh,
he
no.
just
So last
stand
time
there
I
and
just saw
fucking-
him on stage, we did the Nasty Show in Chicago at the Vic Theater, and it was me and him and Nick DiPaolo. Were you on that show? I don't remember if you were.
What year
there.
was it? I did that with Geraldo
couple
and
years
Patrice like
ago.
a year and a half ago. I don't know if I was on that one.
But he closed the show. I hosted it, and he went on last. And he was, I mean, it's just, he would just stand there and fucking, he was really starting to hit a stride, too. He was getting great. I mean, he's always been one of my favorite comedians, like always in like the top 3 since I first saw him.
Wow.
But in the last few years, he just started to get great. Like, he figured it. Every comedian hits some point where they figure out their thing. Like, they do the Hellraiser box, they click it right, and it starts fucking, everybody starts coming out of the doors, Pinhead and everybody, and he just hit that. I mean, just that last special was incredible. He was just starting to figure out how to make his thing really work.
Yeah, and off stage, to be able to do that on stage is fantastic. But then off stage, just to hang out and bullshit about stuff and make it genuinely funny. Any fucking subject that would come up in here when he was sitting here, he had
something.
He had
on
at
it.
least
He
a
always
half
had something
hour
on
on
it.
it.
I was trying to explain him to my kids because I want them to understand what this stuff means. Besides that, he was a big black guy and he said crazy shit. I had to I'm explaining him. I had to say that he was black at some point. Like it didn't matter, but at some point I had to say he was a huge black guy. Like it didn't actually wasn't material to anything I had to say about him.
But you feel compelled to describe him like that. Yeah.
And also the life lesson that you got to fucking take care of yourself. But
yes, true.
Which is makes me angry at him. But it's just that's the biggest substance abuse problem amongst black people is cherry coke. But it's still the biggest killer. But I told them I thought of a bit that he did here that I was able to explain to them, and for a 6 and a 9-year-old to grasp it was kind of weird, but they got it because of his wording, which was about Plaxico or whatever the guy's name was who shot himself.
Yeah. Plaxico Burress.
Yeah, the thing that he said about how he was rich now, living in a mansion, and he had a choice in life. He could hang out with rich white guys and play golf, or hang out with black guys that he grew up with, but who are fun. But in order to do that, he had to carry a gun because those guys are fucking stupid. And they all carry weapons. So it was like live amongst your own, but he's not stupid. He's rich now. So he had to carry a weapon in order to hang out with his own people. That's such an acute observation. That's where he would find these like cracks in the
little things.
Oh
yeah,
my
no one
God.
else was thinking
about. And my
about.
kids were howling. They got why that was funny.
Wow.
There would be shit that like I pondered for years, and when the subject came up, I felt all good about being able to discuss it and talk about it. And then, I was saying before, in one sentence, he'd wrap it up and be like, how did I never see that?
And he'd close the book on it.
Yeah. Done.
He'd say, that's it.
Here's what it is.
Yeah.
Then that's it.
And that's where everyone now has to refer to Patrice versus the people.
Yes, he said Patrice
O'Neal.
Patrice versus the people for racial harmony.
Exactly. No, and I remember like the famous thing of him going on whatever it was on Fox News.
Yeah, we just played that. Yeah.
There's a woman who actually dresses up to go and protest a rape joke, and he makes her laugh at a rape joke.
She laughed at it. She absolutely did.
That's the power of what he did.
Yeah,
She couldn't deny it. This woman whose whole life is, I'm going to go act outraged.
Right.
Yeah.
And she had to go, shit, that's
funny.
That's funny.
Fuck,
that's funny. I wonder what she's doing now. That couldn't have been good when she went back to the office.
Changed her path.
Yeah.
She's doing stand-up comedy, all rape jokes.
He was a guy who forced people. He also didn't take any easy roads himself. Like, everybody does some bullshit version of themselves. Everybody does. I do. I have like a bunch of jokes that I know are just there because old fat, overweight, middle-aged dad. Like I got a bunch of those that I'm kind of
ace in the hole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But he has.
I was gonna say he forced you to be honest, man.
Yeah, and he didn't do that himself. Like he was such an atypical. The first thing he ever did that I saw that made me go, this guy is special, was his bit about how he loves the Beatles. Yeah. And the pressure as a black guy to have certain trappings, and he says, I love the Beatles, but I can't. And he do it, this visual of him riding around in a Cadillac. We all live in a yellow submarine, look in the hood. What's up, G? Yellow submarine, yellow submarine. But that's not your typical big black guy bit.
No. We got into so many great racial conversations on this show.
Oh yeah,
and he just slammed me, and but the great thing was the second the show ended, we'd be walking down the sidewalk going to the parking garage, and he's just hey, how's your pool? What's that like? Your pool and shit. That cool?
No, my favorite part of being on the show. Cool. I loved being on when he was on because he'd get we would lock horns and stuff and get I told him once I wasn't attracted sexually to black women, and he tested me for like 2 hours, saying that meant I'm gay. Like, it means I'm gay. And he said, so he would go he started doing this bit where he'd be like, please bring up and it was like a lawyer asking for. He was like, please bring up fatbooty.com. Like,
go to the website.
He's like, really? Nothing? There's nothing that you can. You know what? Bring up. Yeah. You know,
look at that. That's juicy.
Pissing on blacktits.net, and he'd come up and he'd go, "This you don't like this."
References, man.
But we would go at it here, and then we'd walk. The best part though was walking down to the subway with him, and then we'd stand on like 6th Avenue and 7th or 57th, and just stand there for like 4 hours. And just talk.
Oh, fuck yeah!
And he'd say openly sexual things to every woman that walked by, and they would all smile.
You look delicious.
He's just like, look at you with those pants. Right. What kind of panties you got on? Pink. Bye. Good morning.
He would hold court on a street corner.
Yeah, when we would do the walkover at the old station,
right?
And we'd be walking to XM, and Patrice would just stop and talk to any girl that was walking, and they would engage him.
Yes.
They would talk to him. And it's like, why aren't they running?
He would disarm you because he was funny and silly and he wasn't threatening. And they would just, like, looking at him,
but
you would think he would be threatening.
Right. I mean, just his physical presence would be threatening. And the ability
maybe that's what it was. It was the relief. It's like, oh, no, here's this black guy. He's got kind of a sweet voice. I want to hug him now.
We were at the comic strip one time, and there was a girl he liked at a Christmas party, and he's like trying to play hard to get. He's like, I'm not going to talk to her. And he didn't talk to her, and she didn't come over. And I said, you fucking idiot. You think that you're being, like, hard to get. She's happy. You're not talking to her. She doesn't like you. He really thought that she was being intrigued by his evasiveness. He's just happy that this fucking fat creep was leaving her alone.
The ability to diffuse his physical presence with something so fast, like that quickly when he started talking to you, is amazing. Yeah. Like, because you would just look and go, big black man, must be afraid, must cross street.
He was an empathetic person, too. Yeah, I mean, that's what made him a great comic, is that he saw, he had insight because he was empathetic. But he was the guy who would, like, you talk to him for 5 minutes, he'd start asking you about your life. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Going on
every single time.
Hey, you like your truck?
Yeah.
Be talking about my truck and stuff. Yeah, I got mine. I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, really? Where is this conversation going?
You knew it wasn't a conversation. He was basically fishing for information, and when he was done, he was just going to walk away or get off the phone. It wasn't like, I really want to know about your truck. It was, I need a piece of this and a piece of that, and then I'm done with you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm going to put on my bowler hat and go.
Yeah, Mr. Cotton Club.
He had a lot of looks.
Oh, fuck.
Remember, he pulled off the Pink Panther pink shirt?
How we didn't rip him apart.
We tried too, man.
Yeah, he was wearing a Pink Panther
pink shirt with the Pink Panther on there.
What the fuck? Only he could get away with that.
Holy
Walking
fuck.
in here with that shit on.
It had the Pink Panther on it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It had, what? Sequins on it,
with
too.
Sequins and glitter and... Oh, what the fuck he was trying to pull off with that one.
We tried. we didn't get the best of him that day.
Dude, one of the funniest days in here ever was he was in here and we started talking about food from around the country, and he started trashing every city's food. And he's going, Chicago deep dish pizza stinks. It fucking stinks. And the phones are just fucking lighting up.
The whole world is hating on him.
Yeah, Texas barbecue. Oh, we got the best barbecue. Right. Fuck your barbecue. Fucking.
You took them all on, though, man.
Oh my God, it was hilarious.
Fuck yeah. So many good fucking.
But it's like I was saying, like every subject we came up with, half hour. When one of the funniest things was when we were talking about the cruise ship deaths, and how it's just so easy to kill your significant other on a cruise ship. They circle around 3 times and then leave the scene of the crime.
You just got to push them overboard. No evidence.
In a giant ocean, and he took it the extra step to do the Rasta man selling rock coats to your significant other. Buy a rock coat, man, and you put it on and then push your loved one over the edge, and they just sink right to the bottom. Fucking hilarious.
They even did that to Bin Laden. That's even how they got rid of him.
Get rid of them. You're never going to find them. It's the ocean.
The ocean.
Yeah. But people were bringing up so many things, and there's, just like I said, literally, if you strung them back-to-back, days worth of shit that is just material that isn't stuff on stage. It's You know, it's just conversation.
Most of the stuff he didn't even do in his act.
No,
Right.
it's just him.
Well, that's
talking.
the beauty of it. I mean,
Great.
not to kiss your asses, but that's the beauty of you guys. Most of the stuff you do on our show, you don't do on stage.
Yeah.
Kurt only does
think that
material in
sucks.
here.
Yeah.
That's all he does.
I only talk about Joe's fucking little fat tits on my act. I see no reason to change it just because I'm on the radio.
That's the name of your new album, Joe's Little Fat Tits. Right?
Hey,
That was for my
be quiet. Louie's kids are listening.
Explain to your kids why they can spell better than Bobby.
Yeah, I love how. No, I heard that. He called you a nerd because of how he spelled past.
Yeah.
P-A-S-T. You're a nerd. Like you only Bill Gates and Stephen Hawking and Jim Norton know how to spell fucking pass. He passed. That's like a caveman talking. He passed.
He passed me.
It's like a weird. It's like a E.E. Cummings poem about a dead guy. He passed. Fucking moron.
Hey, you nerd.
Yeah, sorry for paying attention in school.
Tries to turn it around on Jim like, oh, you're one of those guys.
Like it was a basic spelling error that everybody makes in a long and complicated word. But this is not a PH in the middle of a word, you asshole. This is 5-year-olds can spell this right.
Yeah, it's not even like laugh with a GH. There's no silent letters.
Yeah.
I get the same one. Idiot.
He spells Y-A.
Yep.
So he'll text you.
The same one.
Yeah. He's from Boston.
Yeah.
Did it happen? Oh, you got this? He wrote the same thing to you?
Yeah, sure.
Moron. And it's not a spell check thing.
No,
No,
I
of course
know.
it's not.
You don't
Blames it all the time.
go over to the T. It's a whole other part of the.
Yes.
It's geographically very far from 2 S's and an ED.
You
Nowhere
can
near
definitely
there.
tell if somebody fucked up
No,
or if
he
the
passed.
iPhone fucked up.
You know what?
right.
You're right, and I wish I would have called him on that because it annoyed me when he said spell check. You
No.
think there's more letters than the other one. We all
Well,
knew.
so when somebody's
we weren't
defending
buying it,
themselves and they use 2 different defenses.
Yeah, he
The
also
first
said,
one was, well, who knows how to spell past? That's like a Latin verb. That's where he starts, and then he goes, oh, well, it was the spell check. Of course I know. I'm a nerd too, Jim. It was the spell check.
he also said that he was laying in bed. So I was laying in
then it
bed.
was like,
oh,
what are you going to do?
Yeah, you can't spell when you're laying
Oh,
in bed.
no, when you're laying
Just
in
gotta
bed,
let it
there's
go
no
at that
way.
point, yeah.
Then you're at the mercy of that aggressive spell check.
We should call him right now.
Very
Man.
proactive. That spell check.
Hey, he's on the set. Don't bother him.
Oh, that's right. He's on the set. He's on the set.
Oh, she's stupid.
God damn, man.
You should call Tribeca Films and tell them you have a guy in your cast that can't spell.
Get him fired.
So,
I'm smart too, dude.
I'm smart too. I'm not
Fredo.
dumb like everyone thinks.
Dude, you know what? Just passed over, dude.
I'm finished.
You know what, dude? You're so schmarmy. You're spelling the words right. What are you, queer?
Spelling. That's his thing is the fat consonants.
Yeah.
It's just a
Spelling.
so. He just spits out his consonants.
Oh, man. Spell. Just because you can spell. So totally dissected his speech.
Yeah,
That's
it's,
fantastic. Spelling, dude. Spell,
Fucking. I got a fucking pencil and I wrote fucking. What are you doing? What are you emphasizing? What feeling are you emphasizing?
fuck, man.
The visual of you turning down the radio for your daughters.
Oh, well, I always want to listen to this show, but I drive my daughters to school,
Right.
and I'm always riding the volume. But with him, it was just, and sometimes I let it go.
Yeah.
The curses in the
when
world.
it's-
I don't, I do it for a living, so I
Right.
don't mind my girls know it earlier than a lot of kids their age. But that was, Jesus, there's no call for that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. It's not even that it's like offensive.
You got to know
when
when to use those words, right? Fucking.
Because
Lord.
even when he confused Colin with Bill Burr, he's like, cocksucker. He couldn't just say Bill. It was Colin. He's like, fucking cocksucker.
That's how he spells the name
If
Bill.
you had the iPhone.
That's what, that's what he
It's
does.
because he's so insecure, he doesn't think he exists if he's not making a big explosive noise. And he can't just go anyway, so here's how I feel, because he feels like he shrinks into nothing.
Poor
So
Bobby.
he's got to talk like this and say, fuck fucking, in order to like feel like he's registering and feel like he's moving the needle on life at all. Otherwise, he's going to kill himself.
That poor
Quiet is terrifying to me.
I wish he was still here.
No, and I explain to my kids how, like, in New York, the audiences are harder in a whole other way. In Boston, it's like you're going to get your ass kicked and people are going to scream. But here, they're just deathly, intelligently quiet. It's unnerving when you come from Boston. And so when a guy like him comes, and I described a guy like Bobby sputtering and cursing on stage, and New Yorkers just cringing, going, what's this guy doing? And his face is turning red. His fucking now bald face is turning red. And he's trying to...
Any place with
spin on the mic.
any kind of literacy is going to upset Bob.
Well, he also pauses to fucking, and cursing is a way of pausing because he's too stupid to collect a lot of thoughts in a row. He picks them up piecemeal as he's going. And you know what, dude? Fucking, and as he's doing that, he's like thinking, like, next, please, next, please, next.
Stuff to come into my brain.
He can't put silence between words.
Oh my
God! Instead of going, so then, and that's again perfect, exact opposite of Patrice, who could command, and then he'd talk, and then it'd be quiet, and you'd wait for him.
Yeah.
But Bobby's like, so then a fucking, I went to the damn fucking cocksucking. These are all him trying to think of what
those are pauses.
It's the equivalent.
Those are supposed to be pauses.
It's the equivalent of ... on paper.
Dude,
No silence between words and no air between bites.
Gotcha. Thanks for
Bobby's
the
policy.
No.
Patrice was not afraid of that silence, too, yeah.
No, that's what was so...
That's a talent.
He was just quiet.
Yep.
No, and then he had a fastball. Like, he could do that, and then when he'd get on a roll about something, I mean, he was a very... I love... One thing I love about stand-up since I started loving it is how it works, like, musically, you know? How somebody works the mic and sounds.
Like a rhythm?
Yeah, and he had this great way of doing that he would start by just talking about something, introducing the subject, make people even a little unnerved by how uninterested he is and fucking standing there and doing a big performance. And then he would start getting excited about something, and then he'd start, and then his voice would go up to that raspy register, and he'd start feeling it. And then the place is rolling, and he'd rock. You know, it was just
it had a great dynamic to the whole thing.
That's what he was starting to figure out. Because he was on stage, he was funnier in here than he was on stage for a long time, and he was I think it takes until you're in your late 30s, 40s to suddenly turn into, I can fucking do anything I want up here.
I think that
he just got there.
There was probably a fear of starting slow, like starting with a basic conversation. And not this, I got to grab their attention. I got to talk fast. I got to talk loud. Like like you said, this almost disinterested way he would introduce the subject, and then it would build. But to have the confidence to do that at first and not think you're going to lose the crowd.
What gets you finally to do it is when you get older, you just don't care. You really just don't give a shit. I actually don't mind if your life stinks up.
Fuck it.
I went to the.
I disagree. You need a good icebreaker.
Shecky Quinn over there.
I went to
have an icebreaker.
You gotta have a good starter.
I went to the taping, and I don't know if it made the DVD, but just like what you're saying, he came out and just checked out the room for like 5 minutes, and I'm sitting there,
huge amount of balls,
and I'm sitting there in the audience.
Huge.
I don't know.
I don't have those balls.
I don't know if they edited that out of the DVD. I haven't seen it yet. Yeah. And I'm sitting in my seat like, this is your fucking chance. Do something. But he had the confidence to just
Well, you
take
get
it
the
all
credit
in.
of your gear when you do that.
Yeah,
there was one guy who was great at that, but I don't know. I think he's long gone. But remember Jonathan Solomon?
Oh, yeah, Jonathan.
Ray J. Johnson.
Jonathan Solomon used to come on stage, and the first time I saw him, he had a tape recorder with him. And he came on stage, didn't say anything. He just came on stage, and he looked at the tape recorder to make sure it was running. And then he put it on the thing, and then kind of cleared his throat, looked around the room, and then started. And I was like, wow. But he did that every night. After I saw him a few times, like he always starts by pretending he's not sure of his recorder.
Right.
Like, I don't even need to look at you people yet.
Right.
And it would be like, at first you go, what a dick. But then you go, I guess this is what he does. As soon as he gets one laugh, he's bought credibility for that pace.
It is almost like rebooting the crowd, you know? You kind of,
forget
here's
that last
my
guy.
pace, right?
Doesn't matter how high energy he was.
Right, fuck him.
John Joseph just did 3 songs. And now you're all going to watch me fiddle with my Panasonic micro recorder.
I'm going to say another guy that used to do that, and I'm waiting for my trashing.
Okay.
But Ray Romano would go on at the end of a show, everybody's hot, and he'd go on and be like, the whole crowd's like, oh, this fucking asshole talking about his fucking family. And by the end of that set, they'd be like, they'd fucking get him right into his energy.
You got to bring him into your wheelhouse, Carl.
Into your wheelhouse. That's a good word, Jim.
We have Bob Kelly on the phone.
Oh shit. Hey, Bob. Hey, Bobby, we were just talking about you.
Hey, guys, I know. I hate everyone in that. And fuck you, Louie.
Yeah, you've been jerking off to this the whole time. You love being talked about.
You stinky red-headed fucking piece of shit.
There it goes with the fucking again.
Why would it hurt my feelings that my hair is red? It's been that my whole life.
Exactly.
It's the only thing you can come up with. You don't even have like a unique.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't say anything about how you look or just your basic.
You said his bald face.
Hardware.
You did say his bald face.
Well, after like a long, other acute.
And you say you didn't like me. Fuck you.
I didn't say I don't like you.
Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you,
Don't say I don't like you. That's
fuck
what
you,
heard.
Louie, with your 2 legs and your goddamn toes.
Fuck you. And I hope you kids are listening. Fuck them too.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Bobby. I brought him into the conversation.
And he just hung up on that one.
He said, I hope your kids are listening. Fuck them. That's right.
I know you're listening too now, you idiot.
Right now, what he's doing. Right now, he's walking away, putting his phone, and he's trying to pull up his pants like a fat man does when he walks.
You have no way. Bill Frawley trying to pull his pants up the bottom half of the egg of his body. And they got nowhere to hang.
There's no friction there.
No, there's nowhere for them to hook onto.
Yeah.
You just got to pull them so tight that there's a belt mark in his fucking non-waist.
He probably wrote out that rant just so, because we're just making fun of how he talks. He probably was reading it from a piece of paper. That's all that, so that's why he hung up.
Yeah, nothing else.
And he spelled red hair, H-A-R-E.